guys, my name is Doc, which you should know that by now because we're on chapter 6. And this chapter is different than chapter 4, which talks about like relationships with our peers and friendships, and it's more like the professional side. So like relationships at school, relationships at college, relationships at work. And I start off in the second page of the chapter discussing the different types of people, and you could have written this part of the chapter yourself. Most teams and groups that we're on, we have someone who is the leader because sometimes they choose themselves to be the leader and won't listen to other people. Sometimes groups have people who just talk all the time and over others and interrupt people. There's usually someone who might take the ideas that other people have because they're just more vocal, and obviously people can fit multiple aspects of this. There's going to be some people who don't seem to care and they just breathe oxygen, but they're forced to be part of the group. And then there's some people who might not be the leader or might be the leader, but they just do pretty much most of the work just so that it gets done. And so I have you start thinking about the dynamics of teams that you're on. And there's this book that's called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and I'm not going to pronounce the gentleman's last name, but his first name is Patrick. And basically, it's an allegory, and which is a story that helps us understand and learn a concept. And so he discusses the 5 dysfunctions of the team, and I share with you what are 5 really good functions, like what do teams need to have based on his work. And the first thing is, the bottom layer is teams need to trust each other. They need to trust that people are going to show up. They need to trust that people are going to do what they say they're going to do. And so building that fundamental layer of trust, and it's not hard. It's just getting to know the person, and that's what makes the difference. The next thing is good teams embrace positive conflict, and not positive conflict like, yay, everything's great, but like sometimes challenging conversations need to happen. And, you know, and it might be something small, but just being able like, hey, I have this idea, can we work through it? You know, instead of just everyone following one direction, the more that we listen to each other, the more that we learn from each other, and the better the team can be. Once a team comes up with a decision or a course, it's really important that the team commits to the idea as a team. So it's not going to be like 3 people agree and 2 people disagree, and then those 2 people make it hard. Like if the team says, this is what we did, and everybody bought into the idea, like you need to collectively move forward with the idea and support each other. And not that you can't together say, do we need to tweak this, but you don't talk about your teammates behind their backs. Like if there's an issue, you bring it together. And that goes on to step 4, or the 4th thing, which is holding everybody accountable. Like if I say to you, I'm going to have this part of the project done by Thursday, I need to have that part of the project done by Thursday. And if I don't, you need to call me out on it. You don't call me out on it on social media for 17 million people to find out that Michelle didn't do her project. But you message me and say, Michelle, is everything okay? Is something going on? Like assume that I want to do the work, but something came up, and see if you can reach out and help. And the last thing is to stop thinking about, some teams are always like, I want to look good on the team. I want to show that I'm the leader. Like, no, it needs to be our success is everybody's success, and we contribute to that. And so we talk about those different pieces and how it can relate. I give you an overview, and then I break it down, like how it can relate to school, how it can relate to work. And then the closing thought, which I know I don't always share closing thoughts, but I do want to emphasize this, is we must learn about each other. Our strengths and areas for growth are just the beginning. And the more that we as a society have greater social awareness together, the more that we learn about the people who we work with or live with, if you're away at college, you know, the more peaceful it could be. You know, there could be a reason why someone's having a bad day, you know, or a bad month. Something could be going on, and having the courage to ask, and are you okay? How are you feeling? Do you need help? Like, they can shut you down, and that's fine. I'm not saying ask them every minute of every day, but that reach out could really, you know, positively change that person's life. And you have the power to change your life. Maybe you could use it to help change the lives of others also. All right, so that was chapter 6. Chapter 7, I talk about working with authority. In the younger books, I talk about usually parents and teachers. We'll talk about that as well, but we'll also talk about like what to do with the boss and how to handle people in authority over you like that. All right, see you soon. Bye.